There's a negative connotation against people with piercings and tattoos. This could be because people think of them as symbols of deviancy or general nonconformity or even disrespect of authority, which don't seem like good applicants for a job. But that isn't the case anymore. It's kind of outdated to think that tattoos and piercings should be considered unprofessional, because there's a rise in people getting them because of public figures and celebrities. My purpose today is to persuade you to believe that tattoos and piercings are not and should not be considered unprofessional anymore. 21% of Americans have at least one tattoo, and 11% of Americans have at least one piercing not in their ear. I myself have had 5 piercings, and I have 3 tattoos, and I've worked in places both that accept piercings and tattoos and don't accept them. And some of the people that I work with right now that are the most successful are covered in tattoos, and they also have more than one facial piercing. So it really depends on where you work, I guess. There have been studies that show that there are positive attributes to individuals with tattoos and piercings. And despite those positives, employees are still wary because of the bias against them. But despite this, there are still professionals that have these kinds of body modifications, and I think it should be normalized. The positive attributes that are linked in with tattoos and piercings are really high self-confidence and other kinds of positive things about yourself. A German study done on college students showed that students that had tattoos and piercings were more extroverted, were more experience-seeking, and just were overwhelmingly more confident in themselves. And in a similar Texas State University study, 300 students were surveyed, and of those students that had tattoos, they had higher self-confidence and were more highly of themselves, and they also were just thought they were more unique because of this. But despite these positives, employers still can't see past their bias, because there are some qualified professionals that have been passed up because of their body modifications. And there was an Iowa State University study conducted, and 194 students were asked, as well as 95 working adults. They were shown 1 resume, but 2 pictures. They were the same person, just one of them had piercings photoshopped on. And even though the resume was completely the same for both pictures, people judged the person with piercings more harshly and didn't want to hire them. A Workopolis survey asked 327 employers, and of those 327 employers, 77% of them said that they didn't want to hire someone with tattoos and piercings because they seemed unprofessional and thuggish. Now, if you would change tattooed and pierced with somebody's ethnicity, somebody's religion, or somebody's disability, that would be considered discriminatory. So why isn't it considered discriminatory just because someone has body art? And would this kind of bias change your opinion on somebody who is a professional, but the only difference is that they have tattoos and piercings? Doctors, teachers, police officers, and military members have tattoos, and those things don't get in the way of their jobs. They still go to work, they still do their job just the same as their non-tattooed and non-pierced comrades. So why are they considered less professional? Let's say you had one individual, let's say a doctor. He had sleeves of tattoos, but he was more qualified. And then you had a squeaky clean, no tattoo, no piercing, no anything less qualified doctor. He just came out of med school. Who would you want to perform your heart surgery? The more qualified doctor with tattoos, or the less qualified doctor that didn't have tattoos? And most of these individuals that I'd spoken of before, the teachers, the doctors, the police officers, they do their job because they are devoted to the public, not because, or some may go for just a check, but most of those people do it because they love people and they want to help people. Well, that doesn't seem thuggish to me. I don't know if that seems thuggish to you, but it doesn't seem thuggish to me. And also, they still do their job. Like I said before, they still go out and do their job the way that they were asked. So, even though they have tattoos. Despite this pushback, there's no say in how people work, with or without tattoos. Honestly, I believe that the thought of people having tattoos and piercings is very outdated. There are positive benefits like self-esteem and extroversion, and I honestly think it's discriminatory that people just simply don't hire people because of tattoos and piercings. And also, like I said before, there are many professionals that do have tattoos and piercings. So go get that tattoo. Go get that piercing. Because it's not you that is unprofessional. It's the bias against those kinds of body modifications that is unprofessional.